Leah Lopez is the founder and CEO of Better Bites Bakery. Nice alliteration.
Thank you.
Well done. I have to admit, I'm not going to be very objective here. I freaking love your products. They are incredible. For listeners, viewers at home who don't necessarily know what your brand is all about, tell us a little bit about Better Bites.
So Better Bites is a allergen-free dessert line that tastes amazing, first of all, and then it's going to be free of the top 8 allergens, so it won't have any dairy or egg or gluten or soy or tree nuts or peanuts or things that would be in those top 8 allergens that would be an anaphylactic allergy.
Okay.
And then it's also plant-based, so our whole product line is vegan certified, and then it's also non-GMO project verified. And so we try to create desserts that taste amazing, that you walk away from and you're scratching your head going, how is this possible? Because it delivers on the taste profile and it delivers, in the way that it looks, it's beautiful, but at the same time it's a better for you product and it's a safe product. So it's classroom friendly. It's one of those things that everybody at the table can eat. And so that's what we strive to do with our business, is bring joy back to the table and be able to have something that people can celebrate.
If I seem like I'm totally confused right now, it's because I am. You just blew my mind. You're completely plant-based.
Completely plant-based.
How is that possible? I mean...
short of unicorns and rainbows, there's a lot of love put into that. So.
Well, how long was the brand in development? I mean, how long were you thinking about this kind of product? And it sounds like to create a plant-based dessert line as delicious as yours, a lot went into it prior to you actually getting to market.
It's a fun story, so I'm happy to share. My background's healthcare, and I am a mom of 2, so I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old son. Okay. When my 11-year-old son was 2.5, he was diagnosed with anaphylactic allergies to dairy and egg, and he was also diagnosed with opiate effect with gluten. So when he eats gluten, he can't talk.
Oh, no.
And so I was given that news about 8 years ago, and I went to my local grocery stores, and I live in Austin, Texas, so we're kind of like one of the vegan capitals of the world, and could find vegan products all day long, but they were full of gluten. And then when I found what little gluten-free items they did have, they were full of dairy and egg. So I couldn't win. And so I thought, okay, my kid's going to have a birthday. He's going to have holidays. He's going to have celebrations. How do I make sure that he gets to enjoy food like everybody else does and get excited about it? And so I started making products in my home kitchen, and I started just taking family recipes and basically changing out the ingredients that he had allergies to and making sure that it was something that tasted great, that he thought was, exciting, and that would bring that continued family gathering moment where he wasn't the kid that was over here on the side eating watermelon or, you know what I mean, like having to eat fruit and not be able to partake in like pies at Thanksgiving or holiday cookies at Christmas. Right. So I did a pretty good job of it.
I would say so.
Surprised myself. And Whole Foods got wind of it, and they asked me to create a brand, and they asked me to come to market, and I decided to go ahead and move forward with that, and it took me about 2 years.
Okay. So were you selling your product at farmers markets and then Whole Foods spotted you, or how did that work?
No, I had a very good friend that was a neighbor that owned a hotel in Austin and a restaurant. And she had Whole Foods executives come in and actually eat at the restaurant. And she called me a few days beforehand and said, hey, I've got some people coming into the hotel. They have food allergies. Can you make me a cake? And I said, sure, not a problem. So I made a cake in my kitchen, put it in a reusable cake dome from Michael's. And next thing I know is 3 days after she let them eat the cake, they called me, and I had no idea. She didn't tell me it was Whole Foods or who it was. And they called me and they said, hey, your friend gave us your information. We had this cake at her restaurant, and I was mortified. Like, I had no idea like how to move forward. And they said, listen, we love the product. Nobody's doing this. Please come talk to us. And I thought, well, you're 15 minutes down the street. Maybe there's something here.
Right.
And we sat down and we talked, and they were just the right partners. I mean, they were the right people to help bring this to life, and they held my hand, and I really couldn't ask for anything more. So
it's pretty amazing. We only have like 30 seconds left, and I want to ask you, because when I first saw your brand at Whole Foods, it was among all the other desserts with lots of, dairy and sugar and gluten and all these other things. And the reason I bought your product is like, oh, this just looks amazing on its own, just indulgence. Do most of your customers, are they buying your product, for that indulgent snacking opportunity, or is it because you're plant-based, because you're gluten-free?
I would say that when you look overall at the history of who our customers are, that most people do buy our product because it's indulgent and it's fun and it's jovial. However, we do check the box for people that are trying to find better for you products, safe products for their kids that may have anaphylactic allergies or neurological disorders, and they have to eat a restricted diet. And we do find that with where healthcare is going, and that's my background is healthcare, and plant-based is really what's healing us. And so a lot more people are looking for indulgent items and just staple items that are plant-based. And so to answer your question, most people that are buying our product, I would say the majority are just loving the product. They don't even need to have a dietary restriction.
That includes me.
That includes you. Yes. Thank you.
Leah, this has been so great. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Good luck with the brand going forward. Please send more samples to Watertown, Mass.
Will do.
Outstanding. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.